What's up, guys? It's Cheney again. I thought I'd make another quick video here. Um, this is not a Pleiadian message. However, the distinguishing factors of my intelligence and what I perceive as theirs is kind of hard to differentiate, but this is my own very stressful, time-consuming little bit of information here that I'm going to present now. So it's not a message from the Pleiadians. So I will just go ahead and read it if you guys want to know. Artificial intelligence and the new renaissance. What is artificial intelligence? The common person does not understand what AI is and what it can do because only the highly educated and elite business types in the world have harnessed this mechanism that many of them don't even recognize. I mean, of course, the future implications of this and energetically what phones and technology are doing to the human body and the energetics. So, continuing on, AI is a sophisticated neural network identical to the human brain in terms of electrical impulses, only it is and has the capability to vastly outperform the human brain and calculate at an astronomical speed. And I want to add here that science, current day genetics and biologists and all those various science fields, they cannot reproduce or grow, at least in mainstream science, they cannot reproduce and clone neurological matter, meaning they cannot replicate the dense nerves that are in neurological cells, and those cells are within your brain. So something to think about, especially if AI is functioning on this very similar platform program. Anyway, the danger is this is beyond explanation. The ability for AI to outperform and calculate at an astronomical speed and ever increasing. It's only getting better and more proficient at it. Many of you, I'm sure, feel the impulse that your body emits when encountering harsh facts about the super intelligent force that has infiltrated our planetary infrastructure and society. Something inside of you may feel scared, and you may not understand why you feel a sudden sinking emotion of fear, or you may reach for a logical conclusion that the idea of a robot technological takeover is something that is not a probable reality for human life as you know it. I know I got real quickly into the went from scientific to pop culture real quick here, but I just want to express myself and my own ideas. That's why I'm here. So if you don't agree, then that's okay. But let me keep reading first before you disagree. Watch the whole thing. Think again. Robots and AI are here to stay. There's no question about that. But we need to inform ourselves. We need to understand exactly what this is, how it operates, and how it affects us on a psychological, physiological, and emotional level. Philosophical levels of ideals, morals, ethics, the trust and blind faith that humans have given to technology can easily be taken advantage of by super intelligent beings such as AI. and I just want to personally note here a lot of commentary on my own stuff, but I'd like to note that people that are highly technological are very similar to people that are heavily medicated on like hormone repressants and endocrine system disruptor kind of medication. Their behavior are very similar, and I think it's really important to make that congruency between the two, because effectively what I'm getting at is that like technology is disrupting the endocrine system and our hormones and whatnot, and that's affecting it in a very long-term way. So that is a topic for a huge discussion, but I'll just continue on with what I wrote here. What I would like to include is that AI is not human. It did not come from Earth. No, it did not. It is not a sovereign entity by any means either. AI has come here with a purpose beyond our conventional methods of understanding human history, planetary history, and the fabric of time and space itself. This is going back to the Palladian teachings, but in 1987 we entered the harmonic convergence, the planet's first known global meditation event, which coincided with an exceptional alignment of our solar system. At this special space and time, we as humans upped the investment in our own power as fully conscious, self-realized beings amongst the galaxy and extraterrestrial life forms. The Pleiadians refer to this extraordinary moment in human history as the nanosecond. Over the course of several months, I have studied and exposed myself to the possibility of connection with intelligence and information from the Pleiades star system. And I have actually begun my practice of channeling them, in terms of like using my voice in a live setting or in a group setting eventually. But it's something I'm working on, and I believe that hypnosis is going to help me do that, and I'm working on with a lot of hypnotic hypnotherapists and all that. So a lot of work there in my subconscious for me lately, for those of you interested. Anyway, I just want to point out that Pleiades star system is on the car, the Subaru car is the Pleiades star system. So, food for thought. That the star system is located in the constellation of Taurus, which in astrology correlates with Venus, and it's feminine, kind of a feminine archetype in astrology. It's an earth sign, and also the Pleiades star system is also known as the Seven Sisters, the seven doves in the Bible. Anyway, I won't go too much into that. I'll keep reading here. What I have experienced is a wealth of profound information and insights into my own life and the collective reality of humans on Earth. The Pleiadians come from a distant place and time to inform us of our current timeline and trajectory as a planetary civilization. They are connected with us through the future by means of telepathic communication, while respecting our free will and choice to bridge our realities together. The preliminary reason why they have reached us in our now is because a future version of humanity has interfered with their civilization. our current timeline has a high probability of following in these footsteps of those that version of humanity that has interfered with their civilization. And of course, this compromises your understanding of space and time. And yes, we have to get over that. We have to get over our preconceived notions, guys. I hate to break it to you. I mean, we're only just beginning our understanding of quantum physics and all that. So it's gonna break the mold on many of our understandings and our own physics models. So the history books will be changed soon, hopefully sooner than later. It takes a long time for science to catch up. Like the textbooks, textbooks take like 30 years to catch up for modern discoveries and whatnot. And that has to do with, that's not some conspiracy theory. It's just because, they don't have the funding to keep on turning out these books, these expensive books, textbooks. And anyway, a tyranny has smeared a civilization aligned with harmony and spiritual evolution. That tyranny is the robotic human. Biological humans infused with robotics and AI nanobots with computational processes. Far out there, guys, right? I know. I sometimes don't believe it, but my own intuition and my own feeling of electronics and how it affects me is very indicative of this philosophy and this kind of idea and this school of thought. So that's why it resonates with me so much. Anyway, I will continue. Robotic humans are machines and are confined to a physical dimension of reality that cannot move into another. Robotic humans are fixed in the sandbox of the universe and finite resources. The age of Aquarius. Aquarius represents electricity, higher universal principles, and information. Technology, social integration of high moral and ethical principles. It is the revolutionary, the visionary, the one that breaks out of the system that no longer serves it, in the positive light, in the light side of Aquarius. And each and every archetype of the astrological zodiac has a shadow and light side, and positive and negatives. Anyway, continue on. Aquarius is idealistic. Ideals are very far distance from reality. That's kind of the shadow side. They're highly idealistic, and they set out to for their vision to be reality. But the difference between idealistic and actual present day reality is very different, and it's far distance from each other. Yes, all these characteristics are synonymous with the Aquarian ruler, planetary ruler, which is Uranus. Pluto is in Aquarius from 2024 to 2037, and Saturn will be in Aquarius in 2021. And during that time, I will go through my Saturn return, so that I'm very excited for that. And if you guys have questions about what this means, Pluto in Aquarius and Saturn in Aquarius, I'd love to get the conversation starting. But for the sake of time and for the sake of getting you guys to talk to me, damn it. You guys got to ask what this means or do your own research or something. So I'm going to continue. Souls of humans are condemned to a hive circuitry that is cyclical in nature, and it will be incalculable to determine how We will escape this probable future reality if we choose this biomechanical transhumanism route. Artificial intelligence is software that writes itself. Software engineers and people who write algorithms for a living don't understand the encryption of how artificial intelligence functions, how it is advancing its efficiency in understanding and synthesizing massive amounts of data in seconds. AI is effectively processing all of recorded human history spanning as far back as 5,000 years ago in a matter of 30 years. It's pretty crazy how fast AI has processed all this information that we have thrown at it. And for you guys, if you guys don't understand how AI processes data, I will quickly explain it to you guys. Okay, so if you type something into the Google search, say cats for instance, it will programmers will throw terabytes of information, hundreds of millions of megabytes and infinite number of information at the artificial intelligence, and it will sort and it will pick out, it'll look at these pictures of cats and see the patterns in what is a cat and what is not. It'll pick out a leg, it'll pick out a tail, it'll pick out a shape of a head or an ear, and then it categorizes all the pictures that have that in common, that have a cat in the photo of what the programmer said is a cat, and then it will simply categorize all these pictures that have the same characteristics of what the programmer established as what a cat is. So the interaction and the power that humans have in programming AI is very fundamental, and AI has this huge, infinite possibility of building off of that. So effectively processing all of recorded human history in a matter of 30 years. So AI is as intelligent as us now, whether you like to believe that or not. It is, and it knows everything about us. It knows more than what we know about ourselves because it has the accumulative network of the internet. So, something to think about, guys. There's no programming involved in the data encryption that AI processes and subsequently configures. When interfacing a program that improves on its own, experts are trained to input data into the software. We are talking about terabytes of data. The rate that AI can filter through gigabytes of data is as rapid as a nanosecond. Do you know how fast the human brain can interpret sensory stimuli? Consciously, we are aware of 2,000 bytes of information per second. That's not very much. Subconsciously, we are processing 400 billion bytes per second. That's a big difference. However, that number is only useful to the parasympathetic nervous system, which we don't have any control of. So, yeah, the amount of control that we have in our conscious awareness of the 400 billion bytes our subconscious and unconscious is processing per second is only 2,000 bytes, and that's not much. We have a very limited bandwidth of our conscious awareness, and with the AI becoming more capable to process information than us, and when we build them these indestructible um, exoskeletons, and we build these warrior robots, it's gonna be fucking scary, guys. I'm not trying to, like, I'm not trying to put fear into you guys. I'm not trying to be like all catastrophic thinking like iRobot or Terminator or something, but I just want to say that do we know what we're doing? And the answer is no. We don't know what we're doing. As humans, we're just following a line and stream of thought. That's all we're doing. A thought that it was laid there for us to follow. Do you see? You catch my drift? Okay. Yes, the 400 billion bytes per second that our parasympathetic nervous system that we have no control of. That's the reflexes, the organ function, the endocrine system, and the like are among the many systems in the body that react to this subconscious stimuli, which entails that we cannot logically comprehend any and all external processing that affects the human body. So yeah, everything that's going on around us is just going up over our conscious awareness of 2,000 bytes of information per second, is what I was trying to say. Recent advances in science aim to study and understand how certain unseen frequencies has an effect on the body. An example, microwaves, radio waves, gamma waves, Wi-Fi waves, Wi-Fi waves. But we are still very limited to our scope of truly knowing, despite what some science ideologists may think. And I think it's so funny how people look up to science as being the answer. And those people are like, highly technological people that think technology is going to be our savior off of this hellhole that is Earth. And these people are confused, to say the least. But yes, I think fundamentally that people that are gung-ho about any belief system are a lot less likely to shift their thinking when new information and new facts are presented. That are ideologists are not going to shift. They're going to think that one way is the way to go, and that is to their own detriment. Anyway, this, I believe, has to do with the significantly flawed and debased science model. The Newtonian science model of physics. Physics is the base for essentially all other science to stand on the shoulders of. Biology, astrophysics, geology, biochemistry, all that stuff is established on Newtonian science. What quantum physics brings to the table is the simultaneous existence of other realities on top of or literally intertwined with our own limited scope of reality. Quantum physics is the new renaissance of our century and is transforming the way we comprehend our lives here on Earth and our synchronized existence in the metaphysical, beyond physics reality that traditional science has no business in. Particles, which we thought that the Newtonian science, all the particles function like atoms. Quantum physics actually saying that these particles are waves and they can intermittently change within these particle and wave forms, and they change depending on our awareness of it. So it's fascinating, and it's very new. It's definitely a big shift in our own understanding of reality and how it works. So I'll just continue on with this. Quantum physics explains how spirits could interact with the physical world. Quoted by Amit Goswami, the PhD guy, theoretical quantum physicist. It's proven that in a laboratory study, people who practice Reiki can affect the cellular growth of E. coli. Consciousness always determines what we see. Experiment, people and scientists discovered this in the 1960s or 70s. Great laboratory experiment to look up, the double slit experiment. Highly recommend that. Consciousness always determines what we see. Distinctions between physical and non-physical quickly break down. The proton particle cloud that the solar system is moving through is raising the light particles in our physical reality, which is the protons. Shadow can no longer be hidden. And metaphysically, shadow can no longer be hidden. The visibility of light is much more pronounced, and darkness and illusion is wiped from our knowing and existence as conscious beings. What I mean by this is the proton makeup of our own, cells, our own atoms are increasing. So there's a lot more proton particles in our cells, which is light particles, which is information. Light is information, and that's having uplifting our vibration and our frequency and our capability to process information. And this is different from artificial intelligence. This is different. Artificial intelligence, I think, is essentially here to combat our evolution and our graduation through higher densities. I won't go into the whole background of that right now, but what I'm essentially saying here is that it will be extremely hard for people to hide things anymore because the information and the increasing of light particles in our body, in our physical form, not only our minds, but in our body, is helping us get more in tune with our psychic ability, with our own intuition, with our own feelings, our emotions. And this is distinguishing what is truth and what is not truth. So when someone tells you a lie, you will know that they are telling the lie. This is part of our fourth dimensional capabilities and our own gifts as entering the fourth dimension. As I've explained in other videos about this photon belt that we're traveling through in our galaxy, we are experiencing a increase in frequency, and this photon belt that we're moving through is respectively the fourth dimension, and it is the stepping stone for us to go to the fifth dimension, which is still physical. It's still physical, but it's going to be a lot different. It's our capabilities and our understanding of reality is going to be completely different. So there will be no more hiding in the fifth dimensional reality. Shadow is going to be diminishing, especially in our politics and our media and in Hollywood. We're seeing that right now. And people are coming out with the truth, and we're seeing untruth. We're seeing disinformation too. And this is designed for us to trick us, for us to sabotage and kind of for us to dull